Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? The usual. I see there's a few here. Hello, Dirk. Hello, Joseph. Good to see you guys. We'll wait a few minutes to see if there's more coming in. I think everything is working. Just let me know. Give me the thumbs up if everything is okay for you, if you can hear me. Hope everybody is doing very well. Despite all that's happening, it's one thing after the next, but sure, we'll keep going. Hey Nino, how you doing? Can you hear me? Can people hear me? Let me know. All good, thank you. Leor, how you doing? Joseph, thank you, thumbs up. Cool. So we can get started, and if there's more people anyway, the stream is usually rewatched at a later time, so we'll get cracking on. So yeah, everybody's here for those wiggle discs. They're actually called action discs, but they are from a company called Wigglefin. They primarily designed these cones for salmon fishing, for trolling for salmon and sea trout. They're based in America, so it's usually used for big king salmon and things like that. Lolo, how you doing, Lolo? Merci pour venir. Casey, how you doing? Can't wait to get out on the water. Me too. Carlos, how you doing, Carlos? Yeah, great stuff. Everybody's coming in. So, yes, I purchased these quite a while back and had them in the desk, and I didn't know what to do, what to make of them. I tried them the way they are intended to be used, which is up on the trace at a distance from the fly. But every time when you want to change, you have to change the leader, or you have to cut the whatever swivel or snap that you use to slide up the disc onto the line. So I ended up not really using it that much. I did like the action on it, but the fact of changing leader and all that, I just didn't have time or patience to do that. So I thought, why not put it directly on a fly? Make it a little section at the front and tie them straight onto the fly. I suppose you could make a shank, a removable shank, where you can add them simply to the front of your fly as well. That'll work. But for the moment, the most solid thing that I found, and that's not gonna break or open up on me, is just straight onto the fly. So yeah, it's been many discs like this design. I think of the Marc Petitjean ones, which are absolutely crazy money for what they are, because it's only a little bit of silicone cone. The only problem with them is that they don't really come in a pike size. They're great for sea trout, but for pike I find them a little bit small and fragile. They can get bitten off and cut fairly quickly. Aaron, how you doing, Aaron? Thanks for joining. So yeah, the action disc. This is it here. Let's see if we focus. There you go. So the first version was a complete circle. There was no curve and cut into the discs. I haven't tried that version. This is the new one that they've come up with. I don't know if you use the Marc Petitjean discs. It's simply a cone, and usually you have to snip a little portion at the bottom to actually create a little bit of a lip like this for them to wiggle a little bit better. So Wigglefin, I suppose they saw that there was definitely an improvement on the swim once you cut the sides as well. So I'll probably best to show you directly. I think I have their website here. So it's an American company. You can order straight from them. I'm actually the guy from Wigglefin. I was in touch with him this week. He's sending me more, so I'll have maybe different size and see what can we do with them. So I'm just going to show you, for those who don't know. I'm going to go on screen capture. Don't freak out. I took all the porn away, so we're fine. So there you go. Wiggle fin, as you can see. They do planers and teasers for salmon. By the way, it's wigglefin.com. I'm going to go to their homepage. There you go, Wigglefin tackle. So mostly what they do, as you can see, they do darts, they do flashers, anything that's kind of salmon trolling related. But the thing that we are interested in for us, for pike, it's definitely the action discs. So there's a couple of video on their website there, and we can see the action of the action disc, what's intended to do. So mostly they are used on the trawling, as you can see. I am just going to check quickly that everybody can hear and see that. Just spawnfly fish has three sizes as well. Joseph, are they the same size, Joseph, or are they the same design as those ones? I'm curious to see. Like, I haven't tried the one from spawnfly fish, but as you can see, they usually go in front of the fly, and they go tied on the leader, so you can actually change the action. As you see here, you can have it further away from the fly or closer to the fly, and it slightly changes the action. But that's trolling, that's not like stripping like we do when we pike fish. So on the strips you'll have not as much as an erratic action, but you will definitely have some sort of wiggle created. So they do 3 different size. The one that I'm using at the moment is the size 2. I'm sure there's definitely a room for size 1. I don't know about the size 3. Size 3 could be a little bit overkill. So we'll have to see about that. That's a little bit big. Yeah, it's crazy erratic action, as you can see. You get a lot of movement with this stuff. Joseph Kruger said, yes, they are the same. They have size 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Well, then you can check spawnfly fish as well. But the one I'm using, I can't speak for the quality of the ones that they have, but the one that I use at the moment is from Wigglefin. They are solid plastic. I don't know what type of plastic it is, but they are really strong. I'm going to get the focus. And the important part that they are made of that strong plastic is that they don't change shape. And when you have them on a wire, as you saw in the teaser video, they spin really well. Camera has a little bit of hard time to focus. There you go. So that's on a wire. That's a 0.8 mil wire. Now the thing you have to think is that we're not trolling, and these discs are not made for spinning. But the nice thing it is when they spin, like I put on this fly. So I'm going to show you. First we're going to do this one, which is the version where the disc is free moving. And then I do another version where the disc is actually stuck to the shank and cannot spin. Okay. The only difference is that when you're going to strip, the disc is going to, of course, have resistance in the water. So it all depends which way your leader is going to sit in front of the fly between the strips. So as you know, when you strip, the action comes and the fly starts to move, but the leader always changes a little bit. It starts either to sink on the pause or goes a little bit right, left. So that's the beauty of that, is that on the next strip, that disc is going to follow the direction of your leader. So having the 3 cuts on the sides, basically it's gonna make the fly, like you see on the video, go either way, different ways. An erratic, quick jerk to the side. The only difference by having the free one like this is that once you're going to have pressure on the sides, you're going to have a side movement. It's not going to spin, it's just going to sit in the way that it finds natural, where the water has less pressure on it. So the fixed one, it's not going to budge. So of course you're going to have a lot more resistance, and it's going to stay to that shape. So it might have, it's going to have a little bit more of an erratic action, a stronger action than the one that's mounted freely. But the two of them are quite interesting. I'd like to try the smaller size, like this. It would be quite interesting to try. So yeah, let's try that first version and see if you have any questions. So yeah, for this we're gonna have to make a shank. Gonna have to make a kind of a custom shank. So what you're gonna do, I need, like I said, I'm using 0.8 mm wire. So you need a round nose pliers. For this we're gonna need the one-step looper, a pair of snips, and a pair of crimpers for the little clevis that's gonna go and hold that wiggle disc at the front. So we're just gonna make a round eye at the front. I'm going to twist it. No need to twist it too much, like a turn and a half, 2 turns. That's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to cut it tight. Now the size I'm making them to be about 40 milliliters. Not the whole wire, but the shank once finished. It's a kind of a handy size that I found, the 40 mil. I use a lot of shanks that size when I tie articulated flies. So that's it. We have the eye. Don't have much light. There you go. Good evening, Shorty. Thanks for coming. So created that eye. We're just going to slip on the disc in front. Okay, simple. Now for this, just to keep it a little bit shorter, I'm going to cut the stem of the disc just halfway, just not to have it too long and sitting out. Just file it down so it's nice and straight. It's just like that. You don't have too much plastic sitting at the front. And that's it. So it's just slightly cut. I can put a bit more light on it. And there you go. So we just cut half the stem, file it down. Now I've talked many times about them little clevises that you can get for in the spinner making, little aluminium clevises. So they go usually on the blades, on spinning blades. When you use conventional spinning tackle, you can buy them I buy them from Lure Parts, and like I said, you buy them by the 100 for next to nothing. So they're very cheap, and they have many uses. I always carry them because I always find something like this and I'm like, yeah, that's what I need. So we're gonna crimp that clevis just slightly, about 2-3 milliliters. We're gonna leave a little bit of freedom for that disc to move. We're not gonna clamp it too tight, so just behind, like I say, about 2-3 millimeters freedom there for the disc to be able to wiggle. That's it. So what I like to do now, we're going to close the shank. Okay, and if you see in the clevis, once you squeeze it, you're going to have a little hollow part like that. You see with the dots here, this is kind of concave. So I'm going to line up the curve of the shank for the wire to rest in that little concave, so it's like that you have a nice neat finish. So I'll measure about 40 mil length from front to back, from the top of the eye to the bend that you're going to create. We're going to bend that so it goes and rest in that little eye, little concave that we did. Now all we have to do is cut the front. Now first I like just to pre-shape it with a one-step looper, slowly, not too hard. I heard some people having trouble with their one-step looper, having the parts inside breaking, and usually I don't work with too many very heavy wire with the one-step looper. 1 mil is the maximum that I would use. I wouldn't go above 1 mil. It's a little bit overkill anyway, unless you fish for muskie, but for us, for pike, 188. Most of the one I use is 0.8, and sometimes I go to 1 mil. If you go to 0.8 and 1 mil with a one-step looper, just preform your loop and squeeze slowly, gently. Don't go hard. So now we have it. Okay, and there you go. So you can see the wire is just resting in that little concave inside the thing, the wire. So that's our articulated front. I'll stick that onto a hook now. I suppose you can tie any tie you fly, like, you know, I'm going to tie a different one tonight, but you can tie anything behind and you'll have no, whatever fly you want to use that on, you can use it on, like so. I'm going to tie the fly tonight with Kamakatsu SL12S, kind of saltwater tarpon hook, but I love the sharpness of these hooks. And the sharpness, the longevity of the sharpness as well. These hooks stay sharp forever. And the other nice thing is that the eye of that hook is pretty large, so usually it doesn't get stuck. You have a really good articulation and lots of movement. So for this one, I'm going to tie the same one that I had there. I'm going to change the camera, and I'm going to tie like the same as the black one here. The other one, I decided to tie it, that's the one with the fixed disc. I decided to tie that one on a kind of game changer style, because you can get more movement than a game changer. So the disc plus the game changer makes for really good movement. All right. So yeah, this week we had really low water. Then we had a lot of rain. Now we have really high water, and some really nice sunny spells at the moment. So I suppose we're gonna have some spawning pikes fairly soon. All right, just get that sorted for you. There you go. Alright, Kamakatsu 12S. You can use any kind of hook, but like I said, if you see here, they have quite a big eye, so lots of room for the articulation to go. So I'm going to keep it simple, not too many material on this one. No questions so far? All good for you guys? Have I tried that in front of a diver head? No, Joseph, not yet. These are basically the first one that I've been tying with, so I haven't tried any different ones. I have to do something for that. Trying to get the focus for you. It doesn't want to stay too long. Stay. All right. So for this, I'm going to use. I haven't used fin raccoon in such a long time, and I used to tie a ton of bait fish with fin raccoon. I've been using fin raccoon for a long time. The only problem is it's got really expensive lately, but you don't need too much to go a long way. So it's kind of a rabbit zonker strip on steroids, fin raccoon. It soaks up a good bit of water, so you don't want too much, but the movement is fantastic with fin raccoon. I really like it. So I'm gonna tie a little buffer for the raccoon not to wrap up and make some balls and wrap around the shank when you cast. So I'm going to use just a little bit of marabou. I know marabou doesn't last long for pike, but if you put it underneath the tail, it's kind of protected a bit. So I'm going to use 2 feathers, 2 turkey marabou, 2 black ones, and put them one on top of each other. I'm going to use just the end bit like that, get a nice fluff, and put it at the back. Push that mic there a bit. Okay, now for that, an extra thing that you can do for this not to wrap around, for that fin raccoon not to wrap around, is actually to tie a little bit of a loop. So you have 2 ways of tying a monofilament loop for the raccoon not to not to tangle and foul. You can either way tie it before the raccoon, or if you really have problem with rabbit wrapping around the shank when you cast, a good way is to first tie the rabbit and then tie the loop over the rabbit and pull the rabbit through it. I don't really like it because it kind of push the tail a little bit too high, but if you have too many problem, I don't know, it could come from your casting style or something like that. It's a good way to tie that loop after. But as you can see, when you take fluorocarbon or heavy mono out of a spool, it already has a curvy shape, so use that to your advantage. And as you can see, there's even an upward and downward curve on it, so we're gonna keep it upward just to keep that tail nice and away from the hook. I put it just at the back here. By the way, thank you for this week's all the new subscribers to the channel. Much appreciated. I find it always all very cliche to do the YouTuber thing of like and subscribe please, but funny enough, if I don't say anything, the subs don't go up, but if I do ask, they do go up. So I'll get like all YouTubers, please like and subscribe or whatever. As usual, if you want to support the stream, super chat works, buy me a beer works, or whatever works, even squeeze the like button, that works really well. So now we're gonna stick that fin raccoon. So like I said, no need to put too much of it. I'm gonna actually shorten that a little bit. I don't throw, even if you have end bits and tiny bits on the fin raccoon, something like that. It's not much, but that can be used on a dubbing loop on the head of your fly, so don't throw that away. Always good to have these little bits. So I'm going to just clean it up a little bit. There's some, as you can see, there's some small fiber loose bits on the inside, so just give it a brush. I usually like to do it with the fingers so I kind of pull through a bit, get that fluff away. I'm going to tie just the tag end just on the top. I do have a video on the channel where I show how to tie raccoon bait fish like that, and they are like excellent fly. I really like them. The simple, little bit of bucktail, little bit of fin raccoon. Now I'm going to put a little bit of flash, not too much. It's a fly that I usually like fishing a little bit high. I don't like to kind of springtime, summertime, just underneath the surface of the water. So we're not going to make a little bit of a bulky head in bucktail. I'm going to put an extra couple of lateral lines. All know them. I absolutely love that. That's a pearl root beer. It's more like a peacock. It really looks like a peacock one, but it's really nice. So we're going to put one on each side. I'd say the pike will be spawning very soon here with the weather we're having, and there's a few more days of sunshine, so I wouldn't be surprised we're gonna start to see pike in the shallows. Probably happened already. Alright, now it's very simple. We're not going to complicate things. I'm going to put a couple of layers of flared bucktail at the front. No need to reverse tie. If you have nice bucktail, it usually flare up good enough. I'll put one section here. I'll spin it around the hook shank. I want to put another one at the front. Very simple, complicating. I'm not complicating anything. Nice fast fly to tie, and like I said, you can put that wiggle disc in front of any fly at all, like, you know. So that's kind of based on the raccoon bait fish. Dirk, yeah, they are spawning up your way. Baby Buford. Yeah, always difficult time when they spawn, but after that it's gonna be game on. I'll tidy that hook now. I see it with the clients here at the lodge. When they start spawning like this, or they pre-spawn, they get a lot of miss, lots of miss hits, and usually that's the jacks being aggressive. It's not the big girls. The jacks being aggressive, chasing your fly away from the spawning ground. Either way, they see it as a threat, or maybe as another pike trying to get their lady. So, but usually they see it more as a threat and try to clear out the spawning grounds. So usually when you get all these small hits, you're not sure if you felt something. Sometimes it can be hard hits, but you never find a way to hook them, and that's usually they are small pike, and they are not hitting usually with the mouth open. They're just punching them with the front of the nose, so they're just moving them away, and yeah, that can occur for a lot of hits and a very frustrating day. But then if you find the females, coming out of the spawning ground. The only thing I always encourage, because here in Ireland we don't have a closed season, so you're allowed to fish even when the pike spawn. So I usually I bump up my gear to the heaviest that I can, leaders, and I always fish with a 10 weight anyway, but usually bump up the leaders a little bit, strong hooks, and really bully these big girls because they are tired after the spawn, and minimum handling as well. Like sometimes you could have that they are still full of eggs, so I usually, those ones, I never take them out of the water. Like they go straight back in on hook, fish barbless. So if you have a hook stuck in there, barbless will help just get them off quickly. Like, so I'm gonna stick that at the front, and again, very simple. It's gonna be same thing, bucktail, and then we're gonna tie like the basics of a buffered head at the front, and we're gonna shape it with the scissors and get a kind of a baitfish head shape on it. Yeah, they're jacks indeed, no big ladies. Yeah, they are terrible for that, the jacks, when they, but it's good sign. It shows like that they are ready to go. So come back into focus. So yeah, you can see the crease that I created with the crimping tool. So I have a round part, and then where the crimping tool took hold, we have a little concave in here. You can see it there, and then the wire is just going to rest in there. So you're going to have that nice flat lip at the front of the clevises, just holding that disc, so you can get a nice free movement on it. And put a good layer of thread there at the front. I'm curious to see with the smaller disc, it should be fun. See if the action really changes. But on this, you really feel, when you strip it, you really feel that tension and that movement being created. And because of these 3 cuts, like I said, it all depends where your leader is going to sit between the strips, and it's going to send that fly all sorts of ways. Like, so, but it's very fast and jerky. Like, you know, it's not just going to go to one side like a jerk and stay to one side. It's going to keep on moving as long as there's tension on it, and as long as you start pulling on it. Works well on the roly-poly as well. It's a good fly for that. On a slow roly-poly, nice, or fast and pause, works well as well. That's one thing, I don't see too many fishing roly-poly sometimes, and it could make a big difference on certain days. Like, so I'll leave it a little bit of room in front of the eye. I'm going to tie straight against the curve of the eye. We're going to push a couple millimeter in front, just to leave some room. Make sure that the articulation is free and free moving. I'm going to put 2 light layers of bucktail here, and just before the clevis. So that's going to be like the color of the fly. And the head, we're going to tie the whole head onto that clevis, so it gives us a nice base to do that, a nice hold on it. So yeah, I don't know when the next stream will be. Just like I said, click on that notification bell. You should get a notification for any upcoming streams. Now I'm starting the season at the lodge, so my time is going to get less and less. So, but if I have a little break in between, I will do a stream. I probably will do that next fly, that bigger one like that. So keep an eye on it. First guests are arriving Monday, and then it's all go till next November. Should be good. Okay, now we arrive at the clevis, and we're going to start tying our head onto it. So Sam, bucktail, and instead of tying right at the end of the bucktail, I'm going to go up a little bit. Kind of 1/3 to live, and that's going to flare up around and going to start our head. Now the disc doesn't help much because you're kind of stuck here. It's a little bit fiddly and tricky, especially after you'll see for cutting the thing, because you can't pass in front of it. So just take your time, make sure all the hairs are back, and build a little collar of thread in front. I'll push all that back. There you go. I'm going to do the same. So 2, 3 loose wraps. We arrange that all around. Make sure it's even spread. Can put a little bit extra if you need to at that time where it's holding, so you have a nice amount all around. Now again, we need to push all that back because you really don't want any hair at the front of that clevis. It has to be all behind. We can trim the few loose hairs at the end. Lucas, you're a good man. Thank you. Thank you for your dono. Thank you, mate. Very nice. Super chat from Lucas. Thank you. By the way, go and check his YouTube channel as well. Fishing and Free Diving Ireland, I think it's called. Yeah, in Ireland. Go and check his website. His YouTube channel as well. It's really nice. I've always fancied doing free diving in Ireland, but I'm too fucking cold. I used to do it when I was young, but in Ireland I find it a little bit fucking cold. I don't know, I don't have the blood for it. But it's beautiful, like to do some of that. We're gonna whip finish, so get that thread right behind there. There we are. So it's up to you now. You can leave it a kind of a buffered style like that. I like to trim it a little bit. So again, difficult because you have the scissors in front. So I'm just going to go sideways first. Again, when you cut bucktail, it's always good to go slow at the start. I'm gonna get an angle now. Go down towards that clevis. Now I'm going to clean the front. So we have a nice no hairs sitting in front. Get a good spin, good free movement. Again, like I said, it's not really going to spin like this in the water, but when the water is going to push on your strip, it's definitely going to have some sort of movement. I'd be sweating. I hope so. 7mm jacket and 5mm pants and 6 hot whiskies. It sounds like your videos are really nice for that. Very inspiring. Shorty, this looks so easy. Yeah, I don't really do complicated flies. If you see, I'm not. I usually tie something. Like I said, I call them guide flies. Flies that I tie. I want them cheap, easy to tie, and most importantly, I want them to catch fish. And over the years, I've noticed that you don't really need to tie super fancy flies to catch fish. But it's, of course, it's nice to have something you're proud of and you're happy with. I'd like to try some flies for perch. Definitely, you can do it in the summer as well. You don't have to be just a winter guy for perch. Perch will actually do most of my perch fishing in summer. I usually find them easier to find, especially when they're feeding on the fries, the spawn, the roach spawn. I just clean all that up. I think we're done. You can stick some eyes if you want. You don't really have to. You can leave it as it is. But that's the first version. So again, like I said, you can tie that on any flies. I just find them nice. I fish. This is one type actually without the disc. That's that same tie. I use that a lot for. This is my main black fly. I think I was talking with one of you guys not too long ago about black flies, when to use them. If I use black flies, funny enough, come back to me there. Funny enough, black flies, you hear many times that you have to use black flies when you're when the water is dark and murky and dirty. It's a good time to use black flies. But I actually use black flies a lot when the water is actually clear and calm. Now the idea for that, I tried black flies when the water was dirty and murky, and to me it made absolutely fecal difference. I done a lot better with flies that have maybe rattles or wiggle tails, something that create extra vibration in dirty water. But the color, I haven't had much chance with black flies in dirty water. They haven't made a huge difference. But the black in clear water, I usually fish them really close to the surface. I don't. That's why the bucktail head helps them to sink slowly and stay at the top of the water. The idea is that, for example, if you're in a swimming pool and you go to the bottom of the swimming pool and you look up, if it's bright, you're kind of blinded. Everything looks really bright above you. So a black fly, you have that huge contrast, that huge silhouette presence, that it's so easy to spot if you're a predator and if you're under something like that passing on top of you. Compared to a really bright color fly, a white fly, an electric yellow or something like that might not just have the same contrast and silhouette as a black fly in clear water on sunny day. I had like fantastic fishing in 5 meter deep fishing, I remember one time, and I was using a floating line with a black fly like this, and the pike were coming up from about, they were not sitting on the bottom at 5 meter, they must have been cruising at about 3-4 meters deep, but they were coming right at the top and nailing these flies, and it was like one of my best day here in Ireland. And that was really shallow, fished over deep water with clear water, and on a nice sunny day. It was windy, it was a little bit chop, but it was bright clear water, crystal clear. So the other thing as well for this fly is if it's bright crystal clear, you want usually to try to get a longer cast, so you don't make too much noise, especially if you're on a boat. Not so much if you're with a float tube. Your kind of presence is not felt as much with a pike if you're fishing on a float tube or on a boat. On the boat, you just want to get that cast longer and fish with the sun in your face as well. Very important. Don't have the sun in your back, because you're gonna cast a huge silhouette standing on the boat. That's basically my thing. Thank you, Lucas. Good luck for this season. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's getting there. I think we're gonna have a good season. I was a little bit worried a while back because the water was so low, and I was afraid that again the pike are gonna spawn in the reeds, or maybe the water would go down and all the eggs would be dry. But with the amount of water and rain we had there with the last, we had like 4 storms in a week and a half, and the water has gone up like crazy again. So yeah, Laurent, I know the popper head you mean. They call them turbo heads. Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't even drill these ones. I would just use a hot nail or something like that, and just melt the holes in it. It'll be a lot better than drilling them. I always be afraid that the plastic crack, but it's quite strong plastic. I'm impressed by the quality of the plastic. It's not something that's going to break very quickly. So yeah, I'm just waiting. I think the guy from Wigglefin sent some extra ones to have a look. He sent that from the States yesterday, so whenever it comes, I'll do another, because I know I have no more wiggle discs, so they're all gone. But that's it. Yeah, that's the fly, black fly without the wiggle disc. You can fish that bright sunny day. Actually, I like the eyes because you have such a contrast with the black. It does look good with the eyes. So thanks for joining me for another stream, guys. If you have any more questions, I'll hang around for a couple of seconds, see if you have anything that you want to talk about, or if you have any questions. Again, thanks for all the latest subscribers. As you can see here, I actually bumped up to try to go to 4,000 now. Let's see, let's push that for this year. Let's bump it up to 4,000. So thank you for everybody who's subscribed, like the video. It kind of helps to spread it out to other fly fishermen. Thank you, Dirk. Yeah, I always try, to do my own thing, and I don't like following trends. Antisocial. But yeah, it's always good to kind of go through the net when you have those long winter nights and find these kind of things that are not made for fly fishing, but you can have there's hope in a product for fly fishing. Sometimes you see it and you go, that's gotta work, that has to be good for it. So okay, we're gonna go stay another couple of minutes, see if anything more comes. If all is good, I'm gonna say good night. How long was that stream? I don't know, can't see. 53 minutes, not too bad. Kind of going faster now on those streams. They're easy. I got the setup now, so it's easy to come online and do it. So yeah, season is looking good here. Bookings are coming back. Few cancellation, but they've been taken over by new groups pretty quickly. New guys coming for guiding in the summer and in September, so I'm looking forward to that. Quite a few guys that came from Facebook, from the French group as well, so really happy to meet these guys and take them on the water and see what can do. The punk attitude, yeah, you can call it that. Thanks, Dirk. Yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. That's why I sometimes like I don't come on streams, because I don't have that. I don't want to make streams just to make streams and blab about the same thing. So I want to. That's why my videos, I'm not like all YouTubers and like kind of getting videos out every week. I don't have the brain for that, and I am afraid to become boring at the end and kind of repeating. So that's why I always said, if you want to talk about something, or if you want me to tie something, you can hit me on Messenger or directly on Instagram. That's where I'm mostly present at the moment. If you want something to feature in the streams. And yeah, I'm working on a short video now, just a kind of a mashup of the winter fishing, because I'm arriving at the end now. Keep an eye, like we said, May, it's going to be the teasing campaign for that Decathlon float tube. So that'll be May time. We're going to start to see videos and pictures with it. And then in the summertime, I'll be doing a lot more video in the summertime fishing. Just kind of vlog, going with me on the water. I have a few technical videos that people have requested, like setting hooks on pike and stripping and different things like that. I don't think of making these videos, but I always thought that the people following the channel were kind of experienced fly guys, but I'm finding out that a lot of the newcomers are like guys who just want to learn. So maybe the basics like that is good for them. So I will make some videos like that, kind of basic video on how to set hooks on the pike and things like that. So thanks again. Thanks for joining me, guys. Yeah, like and subscribe, and see you very soon. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good evening, and I'll see you next time, and have really good fishing for this springtime. See you on Instagram if you don't see me on YouTube. Thank you, and goodbye.